Start your show now, press 1 to hear important.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
Tim Black's Wolfpack. What up? All right. Okay, I hope that's good. We good? All right, people, how y'all doing? My name is Tim Black. There we go. We're good. We're good. Looks like we're good anyway. How you doing? I'm Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Today is Tim Black Tuesdays. This is where we open up phone lines. Let me put the phone number up real quick. 319-527-6212. All right, guys. So, wow. Okay. A lot happening. A lot going on. Let me go make sure that we're good to go on all our platforms. This being the internet. I got to tell you guys, it is kind of nice to see even the bigwigs, you know, the MSNBC, CBS, CNN, all having to broadcast like I do. And suddenly, they can't just say we're garbage. You know, you're doing it the same way I do it, Johnson. And some of you don't do it with as much care, creativity, or even style. So, hey. What up, Rose Wade? How you doing, Nicole? How you doing, Ginger? How you doing, Deborah? How you doing, Grigor? George Scheller, Ginger Liberty, Yvonne, Zara. Yeah. AJ, what's up, man? You know where I'm going with that, AJ. Janie, Marcy, Mariano. All right, Mariano, Rita, Margarita, Islam. That's a lot of links. All right, delete, man. Won't you go do your own live stream and then you can spam whatever you want, man? How about we do that? How about you go do your own live stream and then spam the hell out of it? Then it won't even be spam because people be tuning in because they want to see what you're about. Yeah, man. What's up, Virgil? How you doing? Yeah. What's up, David? How you doing? Well, I'm glad you guys can hear me. And it looks like we're good to go. Wish I could donate, brother. It's okay, Gregor. Thank you for being here. Your presence is more necessary than your money. We're all struggling right now. It's tough for everybody. Just share it on your social media if you could. That'd be great. And that's a form of support of the show as well, guys. Give it up for DJ Leader, Dave Ruby, Alma on Earthia, Leslie Johnson and Joe Famous and Cryptical, Rahul's in the house. Ermelinda, welcome back, Ermelinda. How you doing, sis? And Brad Bloom, Tatiana, Mike Guillermida, Progressive Kev 78, Cornbread 1234, 123 check. I check 1, I check 2. I check 1, I check 2. Rev Marie is in the house with the wrench. Thank you, Mike Sarvis. Thank you, Unity Love. Thank you, Unity Love. I appreciate you. All right, guys. I don't want to hold you too much, Leslie Johnson, because you know how the phone lines get. They get crazy, guys. So I want to make sure everyone knows. Now, look, this is how this works. More than likely, we're going to run out of time on the phone lines because this show has gotten very popular with our phone lines. So, regardless to what YouTube does to us, you guys just keep calling into the show. I want to thank you so much for that. Now, one of the good things about it is we get a lot of different voices from all over the world, frankly, that call into this show. And that's amazing. The only downside is to it, I never get to all the phone calls. So if you got a comment that you definitely just got to make sure people hear it, I suggest you super chat us any amount on the YouTube channel, because that way I will read your comment. So if you're staying on the line and you're like, wow, Tim hasn't gotten to me yet, and I'm afraid that I won't get my comment heard, and it's really important, go to youtube.com, find the Tim Black Show, and just do a super chat, and I will read your comment. Okay? All right, guys. So I got a couple things I'd like to get to for the monologue of tonight's show to get things kicked off. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been sharing our content. We're trying to bounce back. Things are tough right now, but we're doing our best, and it's because of you that we even have a show. So thank you, Tim Black's Wolfpack, all my Patreons. Thank you guys for being there for the show. We appreciate you. So, there's a lot of contentious, lot of, I don't know, man. How can you describe it? There's a lot of drama going on right now. And it's so much drama in the DNC. It's kind of hard being TBTV. But somehow, some way, we keep coming back with dope-type shows every single day. Nancy Pelosi's been under attack from Donald Trump. She's also been under attack from Shahid Buttar, who's running against her for the first time in, 30 years? I don't know. Since she's been in office, she's actually being attacked from her left. And she's also being attacked because, she's just not that smart a politician. Now, I know you're going to say, Tim Black, that's not true. She's so smart. She's the smartest politician that's ever been. And to that I say, garbage. Well, Donald Trump has had, he's been taking a couple shots at Nancy Pelosi, and with good reason. Her IQ for what to put out there in the mainstream, like what to put out on social, is not so smart. A couple months ago, wasn't that long, maybe a month ago, she put out a video showing off her big freezer, big refrigerator, and all her love for chocolates and ice creams. This was at a time when a lot of people, were broke and are broke. And one thing people don't like to do is see other people like showing off like they're on MTV Cribs, especially when you are a public servant. See, when Lady Gaga shows off her cool wares, at least we know she made it on the road. She's not a public servant. She's a performer, an entertainer, who are historically grossly overpaid or paid exactly what they're worth given the market. But a politician, it's not the same thing, Nancy Pelosi. So when Nancy Pelosi showed off her humongous stainless steel appliances filled to the brim with delicious chocolates and creams, people got a little pissed off. People took to social media and made fun of it. But some folks, like Donald Trump, they used it. Oh, yeah, they used it. They came up with an ad to get under her skin and maybe to help push her ass out of Congress. Here it is.
We turn now to that $350 billion fund to help small businesses and its workers get through the shutdown.
It will be up to Congress to restock it.
But Democrats blocking that move this morning.
They asked for $250 billion in 48 hours. I said, well, I don't think so. They objected, and I congratulate the Senate Democrats.
Speaker Pelosi, what are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate candy,
Thousands have been forced to wait for hours at food banks all across the country.
This is chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. We just got it restocked with the ice cream.
You don't want to eat up everything all at one time.
I can't do it much longer. I'm trying so hard.
We were, shall we say, enjoying.
Having to admit that, we're starving, and
I like it better than anything else.
Taping this segment, there are 22 million people out of work.
This specific program is about stopping job losses today.
This is hurting people bad.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but
right now it's survival mode. You don't know where that next something else is going to come from.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
Yep. I don't know what the name of that show was that she appeared on. The rotund guy, not very funny. Has a bit of an accent, I think. For some reason, Americans love having people with accents. Unless there's like a hood accent. They don't like that. But like foreign accent, like British or something, they like that. I don't know. I really don't know this guy's, like, what his background is. I just know that she was on this guy's show, and that's when she was showing off her home. And this is not something that a seasoned politician would do. I mean, given the nature of, being a public servant and everything, as I went over earlier. Just didn't make too much sense. And wow, what a commercial Donald Trump turned that into. Yeah, what a commercial. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a hard gut punch commercial. Showing off the corruption of the Democratic Party, showing off its lack of being in touch with the fabric of America, like not understanding at all, hey, this might come off as elitist. No clue at all. No clue, nowhere in the mindset of, hey, I wonder what poor people would think. It's not just Nancy Pelosi. It's Jim Clyburn. It's Maxine Waters. It's Chuck Schumer. It's all of them. It's everybody. I know some people want to just focus on certain people because, they want to, go after certain people for some reason. It's weird, But in the Democratic Party, there are a lot of people, a whole lot of people that you could point fingers at on this thing about how much money they've amassed during their time working as public servants. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now, Nancy Pelosi is feeling the heat, ladies and gentlemen, because Nancy Pelosi put out an ad of her own. Though it's not as sparkly as the one you just saw, it's still an ad, and it's running on Facebook. I happened to run past it as I was going through my feed, Johnson. Check it out.
We turn now to that $350 billion fund to help.
President Trump raised $10 million to launch a massive ad campaign smearing Democrats and me. I won't be silenced, but I need your help to fight back. Can I count on your $10 before midnight to hold Trump accountable? I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah. That was a bad echo. That doesn't sound good at all. No. No, I'm not going to give you $10, rich lady, so that you could go back at Trump. I mean, you're an idiot. You're the one that put that information out there. You're the one that's showing off your damn house. I like when Snoop Dogg showed off his mansion. That was cool. I like when Ice Cube did it. I like when celebrities do it. But see, you, dummy, are not a celebrity. You are a public servant. In fact, I should see you in some rags. You should be buying off the rack, rich lady. Yeah, in a righteous world, you and the rest of Congress and the Senate would be basically, going to, I don't know, what is it, Macy's? Not Macy's. Macy's too high strung. No, you'd be going somewhere like Kohl's, where Bernie Sanders gets his suits. Instead of having like the requisite $40,000 worth of pearls around your neck, you'd be driving a $10,000 car. I mean, it's the least you can do when you're working, you're supposed to be working for me. Why you got so much money? Look, guys, we're the ones who should be doing better. We got you working on our behalf, and instead, you're the one doing well, and we're the one that's struggling. I shit you not. There was somebody in my comment section today who went after me because I sell T-shirts. They literally went after me because I sell T-shirts. Though they watch Tucker Carlson, who we'll talk about later, who's worth multiple millions of dollars. But little the Tim Black guy with the bald head, the bad just for men on his beard, that guy has T-shirts he's selling. Oh, God. So miss me with the ridicules of me. What about Nancy Pelosi? I'm small, work out of my basement, and they still give me shit because I can afford a webcam. But Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, you got a fake billionaire, Donald Trump, and you give me crap? This is how upside down we are, Johnson. See, this is the way it works. In America, we hate each other so much. We don't want anybody that looks like us or anybody who's on our social economic level to have anything. But we want the rich to be as rich as possible so that we can glorify them, so we can look up to them and aspire to be like them. But God forbid any of us do anything to move forward or move up in life, and we will bring them down, Johnson. It's the old crab in a barrel mentality. We all have it. It's not just privy. See, black people think it's just black people that have crab in a barrel mentality, and white people think it's just white people, and Asians think it's just Asians, and Latinos think it's just Latinos, and Native Americans, I don't know what they think. I haven't talked to any of them in real life. Except that one, Pocahontas. The point is this, guys. Nancy Pelosi is garbage, and we all know it. So what do we do about it? Well, we support Shahid Buttar in his run against her to unseat Nancy Pelosi because, well, she's frankly worn out her welcome. Yeah, we don't want to see your house unless it's the poorhouse. And we don't want to hear about your riches unless you're giving them out to the people. Yeah, give back some of the riches that you took in those speaking engagements for all those corporate entities that you make sure get the bills passed and legislation passed that they need. My only problem, guys, is that we have to judge Republicans the same way. Like, we should have an even playing field to call it out corruption. Now, I know it's the Democrats who pretend that they're not corrupt when a lot of them are, but that doesn't change the facts. We got corruption on both sides of the aisle. And yes, that was Sagar that you heard in that commercial for Donald Trump. I told you Finkelstein, the owner of the Hill, is a big Trump fan. No one believed me. They said I was just bashing. Just do a little research. This is called the Googles. Y'all don't got a crack team of investigators over here. The bottom line is that Nancy Pelosi, it's time for her to go. I mean, when you're so detached from reality where you go on a show and you brag, you pull out your swag. I mean, that shows you're hitting the wine pretty hard. The box wine, or whatever that is, the Pinot. I can even say it, more or less afford it. All right, so Donald Trump is going to be hard to beat, and they're going to raise a lot of money. And when you got people like Nancy Pelosi putting out this type of content, let them eat ice cream. It's perfect. Now, I heard some people say that if Bernie Sanders only would have ran ads like this. You know, Michael Bloomberg spent $1 billion in just, 100 days. He would have spent another $100 billion if he had to. Well, that's all he has. He would have spent another $1 billion every month to stop Bernie Sanders. But somehow people think if Bernie only would have put an ad out like Donald Trump, he'd have been okay. I'm sorry I had to slide that one in there, Oliver. It's ridiculous, man. Yeah, it doesn't matter what ads you run when everything is against you. But at the end of the day, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the power structure in the DNC, they all need to be wiped clean from the from the political establishment. They need to be all of it needs to be rinsed and flushed, including Tom Perez first. First goes Tom Perez. But we ain't forget about you Republicans. You need to go too. But unfortunately, your base doesn't pay attention at all. Yeah, I don't hear where's the populist right calling out, the gluttony of Marco Rubio, the stupidity of Ted Cruz. No, they spend all their time shitting on Democrats. That's our job, Johnson. Yeah, let the populist left call out the corruption on the left or the center, and let the populist right call out the corruption on the right. But instead what we have are people on the left, or they say they're on the left, calling out the corruption on the left, and no one calling out the corruption on the right, and that's really how you end up with Trump. All right. I could go on and on this topic, but I won't. Instead, we'll go to the next topic, because the next topic is just as much fun as the first. Tucker Carlson doesn't like AOC. No, he doesn't like her at all, man. There's a lot of people that don't like her. They vowed that they're going to go after AOC and all the progressive people in Congress, including Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar. They've already done as much damage as they could possibly do to Bernie, and they just want to work down the line and destroy anyone that has any progressive leanings at all. We got to get rid of them, because that's how you stop Trump. You get rid of all the people that would ever support anything you want. But Tucker Carlson is going after AOC, and here goes a clip of that. Fun stuff, Johnson, fun stuff.
But they can't stop. The most consistent byproduct of privilege, always and everywhere, is narcissism. So it's not surprising that our pampered overlords just cannot shut up about themselves. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez doesn't make sense as a person until you learn that she grew up as Sandy Ocasio in an affluent suburb of Westchester and then went on to get some silly, pointless degree at a silly, pointless private college. Of course she did. It's so obvious once you know it. Thank you, Wikipedia. She is a child of privilege. She's not some kid from the streets. Someone who actually grew up in the Bronx would be far too embarrassed to drone on about herself on Instagram. Please. Suddenly, people like Sandy Ocasio seem to have a lot more power than they did before this pandemic arrived from China. That's at least as scary as the virus itself, and its effects will last much, much longer. You have a right to lawfully push back against that, and you should.
Tuck's talking about? What is the Tuckmeister talking about? I'm not sure exactly what his point was, especially at the end there when he said you have a right to push back against that. That being, the stay-in-place orders. Is that what you're talking about, Tucker? Oh, not you too, Tucker. See, more people should call out Tucker for the stupid shit he says, but instead of trying to get his fan base. Yeah, Tucker's not a friend. He's not. Every once in a while, he'll say something that makes people on the left, the true left, clap a little, but it's only to set you up because there's money in the left to be had, goofy. It's not because he really cares about your issues. No, he doesn't. Tucker is an establishment hack. But let's get down to brass tacks on his points about AOC. Listen, he says AOC goes by the name Sandy. She never went by the name Alexandria. That just goes to show you that Tucker's living in a bubble, man. I've worked in D.C. for 25 years. I can tell you this. I met a lot of people of Latino descent who shorten their names Johnson. Yeah, see, there's a lot of racism in America. You might not know it, Tucker, because you've never ever experienced it, and to you it doesn't exist. But a lot of Hispanic folks will shorten their names to avoid discrimination. I mean, I myself, if I could avoid discrimination, I probably would too. There's no badge in being withheld from a job or stopped from accomplishing something you're trying to accomplish because of your skin tone or your heritage. There's nothing to be gained by it. So, yeah, maybe that's why she did it. I'm not saying she should have done it or shouldn't have done it. But I'm saying you're so stupid you don't even know that that's a thing. Like, I worked with a guy named what was his name? Jose. I worked with him for 7 years. It wasn't until he left that I realized his name was Jose because he went by Joe. Let me try that again. I worked with a guy for 7 years. His name was Joe. I didn't know until the last day he was there when I had to shut down his account. I didn't know his name was Jose. He didn't want anybody else to know either, Johnson, because he kind of thought it would hold him back. I would be Tim White if I thought it'd help me. But as soon as I show up, it is what it is, Johnson. Moving on to other points that Tucker made here. He said that she was a child of privilege. AOC, a child of privilege. Are you mean Tucker, Swanson, McNair, Carlson calling somebody a child of privilege? Dude, you come from the family that owns Swanson's, the Dinners. Hey, look, man. I hate to steal a joke from Chris Rock, but I gotta say, if the Swanson family woke up tomorrow and had the money that the Ocasio family had, they'd jump out a window and slit their throats on the way down. Tucker, with all due respect, shut the fuck up. See what you can do when you're not just a partisan hack and only going after progressive-leaning candidates? You could go after Tucker, too. And it's fun, Johnson. It's fun giving this bow tie-wearing bastard hypocrite the business. And I'm not saying Ocasio-Cortez should get a pass, but at some point you got to wonder, why is Tucker going after Ocasio-Cortez? That's because she's up for re-election, Johnson. Then you also do a little bit more homework and you find out, well, Laura Ingraham went after her on Monday. Tuesday, Tucker goes after her. Or was it Friday Laura Ingraham went after her? Yeah, Laura Ingraham went after her for being a bartender, said she was too stupid. She had a working class job. And then we have Tucker for the score going after her because she's got too much money. Basically, they just corner both sides. And this is something that the progressive media needs to do more often. Maybe we need to team up. One day, I don't know. I don't even want to name drop, man. The way I've been treated like a leper in this progressive media circles, there's nobody I want to call out. It's got to be somebody, Johnson. Well, anyway, let's just say progressive commentator number 1 goes after Tucker Carlson's money. Progressive commentator number 2, the next day goes after his Ivy League education. And so on and so on. And we just, clear up this nonsense that Tucker Carlson's one of us. Just because he gets something right occasionally. Yeah, occasionally a broken clock's right twice a day too, Johnson. Unless you blow up the clock. They knocked on Tucker's door in his house in D.C. They disturbed him. Yeah. Stop acting like he's MLK, man. They blew MLK away. Anyway, I would like to feel sorry for Tucker. But there's a lot of other shit going on, man. Pull your head out your ass and recognize they not your friend. And I know you want them to be your friend. Because you look at the Democrats and you go, ugh, these people are horrible. Then you look over and maybe you think, oh, maybe this group's a little bit better. But no, Johnson, they're not better. They're just different bad. It's a different kind of bad. And we could go on and on more about Tucker. Let's see. Carlson's father is Richard Carlson, a former director of the Voice of America and president of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, who also served as a U.S. ambassador. Yeah, Ocasio's dad, who's deceased, was an architect. And his stepmother is the heiress to the Swanson frozen food fortune. We already did that. Anyway, just, notice how Carlson doesn't put any of his own business out there. Because then maybe he won't seem like such a fighter for the common working man either. At the end of the day, Ocasio-Cortez will be voted in or voted out. Hopefully, guys, based on what she's done for the working people in her district. She's not a national politician just because she has a national profile. Doesn't matter what I think about her or you, unless you live in a district, or unless you want to volunteer and help her or send money to her campaign. But let her constituents decide, because I really don't know what kind of job she's done in her district. We need to talk to the people of her district and find out what they think, and let those people dictate who should stay and who should go. And it should not be based on the chidings of Tucker Carlson, Swanson Moneybags, Ambassador Papa, or either disgruntled, pissed off, fake leftists, whatever they are, people or right-leaning, I don't even know what these labels mean anymore. Just know when you're being used and when you're being abused. And at least choose which one you'd rather be. Or reject them all, Johnson. All right. Now, we only got a couple more segments to go, guys, but let's see. We got a couple things here. Oh, this is kind of great. Well, now you know all those protests that are going on about the coronavirus, there are people that are pissed off. And I'll tell you, man, it's crazy. Like, the first time I took a look at the protests that were going on in Virginia, very close to my home state, and it's some in Maryland, but not my side of Maryland. It's like more like the rural section of Maryland, up there near Annapolis, I think. But there's been protests in other states. Most of those red states, but there's been some blue states, like Michigan, right? Kentucky, North Carolina, red states. Okay, so there are people who are upset. Now, when I first covered it, I was being more, sympathetic. I was looking at the people and I was thinking about people who need money. People who are like, God, I got to get back to work, man. I can't survive without a paycheck, and unemployment's not going to do it. And I got to get back to work, and we got to get back to life. And I was thinking about those people, and I did a video about it, and I covered that. And I said it wasn't right to judge people who maybe are protesting because they need to get back to sustenance. They need to get back to a paycheck. So then the next time I did a coverage of it, I kind of covered the other people. The other people that do exist who are not trying to get back to work, Johnson. They want you to get back to work because you help make their lives better. You, the flipper of pizzas. You, the beauticians and estheticians and same thing. You, the massage therapist. And those people that do those jobs that, make life interesting as you mix up their smoothies and their green juice or whatever you do. Yeah, so there's some people who are protesting the lockdown or the stay in shelter initiatives or guidance because they just want their life to go back to normal so they can enjoy life more. They don't like looking at their spouse. They're tired of the kids. They just want to go back to the bowling alley and the movie theater. And I get that. But see, the problem is a pandemic. So we cover both angles of that thing. Yeah. And I try to criticize people, but I try to do it fairly. And I said, look, guys, part of the reason why I'm criticizing you is that you're not going after the right people. You're pissed off at your governor for putting you, in a stay in shelter rule. But that governor's just trying to save lives because every day, like 3,000 people are dying. Every day we have a new 9/11. Every day in this country. Every day. At least. We're up to like 42,000 deaths. That's a lot of deaths, Johnson. And just because it's not being reported as thoroughly as you think it should, there are people who doubt that it's even happening. Well, my thing is, whether you believe it's as bad as we say it is, or as the data says it is, if you want to go after somebody about your money, if you want to go after somebody about why the services aren't working for you, you need to be going after your government, not because they want you to stay home, but because they haven't processed those damn checks. Where's the moolah, Johnson? Where's the moolah? And to that point, the small business program, loan program that was designated to give small business people a way to survive, a way that they can continue to pay their employees. See, I can't believe, the dummies that just want life to go back to normal right away, forget them. They're crazy. People are dying. We gotta hold tight. Ignore them. Those people are idiots. It's not going to happen soon. Stop listening to Rush Limbaugh, and stop reading Breitbart. Okay? And stop listening to Trump, too. But to the people that are hurt financially, instead of being pissed off at your governor, be pissed off at these programs that are being ransacked. And to that point, here goes a little bit of an update about the small business loan program that's supposed to be there so that you can keep your job.
What this program actually is. In the midst of a month where 22 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits, this loan program is forgivable loans backed by the Small Business Administration that allows small business owners to essentially pay out their employees. It's not a stimulus, if you will. It's essentially a life raft to pay your employee salaries, to pay for payroll, to pay your utilities, to pay mortgage interest, things of that nature, not just a blank check. If you want your loan forgiven, those would be the things you'd have to do. The idea being that you can keep small business employees employed even if there's nothing for those companies to do over this period of time. That money is now run dry at a particularly bad time economically, and lawmakers right now at least don't have a path forward, John.
There we go. So Tim Black, what happened to the money? Why is the money going away? What's the problem, Johnson? Well, for some reason, these big corporations, not like little mom and pop shops or even small companies with just a few employees, they ransacked all the money, Johnson. Yeah, they found loopholes to go in and qualify for small business loans. We're talking about big corporations like Shake Shack. Yeah. Ruth Chris Steakhouse, a chain with 150 locations, valued at $250 million. They got some of that money. That's why some of the small businesses, maybe in your state, weren't able to stay open. Get it? So like you could be protesting that. Or Shake Shack, like I pointed out earlier, a $1.6 billion burger and fries chain based in New York City, it received $10 million themselves. Now, Shake Shack sent the money back because, well, it was a publicity nightmare when it was found out that a huge corporation with thousands of employees needed help when they made, $1.6 billion. See, they didn't really need help, Johnson, but they got help because they know how to cook the books or they know how to file the paperwork, something that most small business owners really don't know how to do. And a lot of us did, though, Johnson, and we still got overlooked. And these guys got the money. So this is just like one of the things that you could be protesting that makes a lot more sense than protesting your governor. And look, I'm not here to defend your governor. I don't know what kind of job your governor is doing. But what I'm saying is part of the reason why your money isn't right, part of the reason why small businesses shut down is that they haven't been given the small business program money. Now, they're supposed to be coming up with a new payment or a new fund for this, and it may have happened already, Johnson, but I'm just showing you what we should be pissed off about. We're not pissed off about. Instead, we're clamoring about going back out into harm's way. We're pissed off because we can't go back to our jobs. We want our way of life back. Life will never be the same, Johnson. It ain't my fault. It ain't your fault. It happened. So we have to react to it in a way that doesn't stack bodies up. Or you can be an idiot and keep protesting and yelling. Meanwhile, these rich fat cats are getting the money and they're just going on with life. While I was looking at this, while I was looking at these issues that we're talking about with the protests and how it's so divided, you got all these people, I started wondering, what's making this happen? So part of what we're going to be doing this week is we're going to be going through and finding out who is behind the protest. I mean, everybody can't be that crazy. They just want to run outside and go in large crowds. Well, yeah, we can't be that crazy, Johnson. I take that back. There are a lot of people who are, frankly, that crazy. But who's funding it so that the crazy can be, out in the streets? Someone's got to pay for the advertising, the way to organize all these people together in one place. I mean, it's not just happening in one place. It's not a one-off. I mean, it's happening all across the country. People are coming together all across the country and coming up with horrible ideas, like standing next to one another without the proper mask, risking infection, to complain about not being able to just risk more infection. And then I saw this.
Our new normal does not mean that we will sacrifice our freedoms for our safety.
This morning in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, hundreds of protesters defied the state stay-at-home order and lined the streets in front of the state capitol.
Get me liberty or get me death!
To voice their frustrations around their state's lockdown.
I don't think it's a good thing for our economy or our country to shut down businesses, because in the end, who's going to pay for it?
For the past few days, this sentiment has moved throughout the country in small pockets.
We had a really smoking economy.
Many of the protests organized by conservative groups. But for some, their reasons go beyond politics.
We want to go back to work.
From Wisconsin to Colorado to Maryland. At the same time, the death toll climbing, now topping 42,000, including some of the youngest victims we've seen, like 5-year-old Skylar Herbert. Making this a difficult and heated debate about how and when to reopen America.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, I watched that clip and that got me teed off, man. I said, okay, I got to get to the bottom of this. So this is what I've uncovered so far. A political group heavily funded by the family of Educational Secretary Betsy DeVos organized a raucous rally. Now, this rally was against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. It's against her stay-at-home order on Wednesday. Roughly 3,000 conservatives, including members of the Proud Boys, some call it a hate group, Johnson, and Confederate flag-waving right-wingers, descended on the state capitol. Most participants did not wear protective masks or observe the social distancing guidance. The protest was organized by the DeVos-funded nonprofit Michigan Freedom Fund, or the MFF. MFF is that's a good acronym for what I think of them. And a far-right organization called the Michigan Conservative Coalition. Now, just one day earlier, Governor Whitmire, had thanked Amway and the DeVos family, which owns the company, for donating personal protective equipment to state hospitals. Yeah. Whitmire said the day before that Whitmer called out the DeVos's for funding MFF as it promoted the protest. So, Secretary Betsy DeVos, basically, who brought her position as Education Secretary. You know that, right? She paid like almost $1 billion to the GOP in order to get a position. You know, in Trump's cabinet. Oh, you didn't know that? Okay. See, that's why we got to call out Republican garbage, because a lot of people don't know this stuff. And so her family business is promoting these events against Whitmire, who they also funded her challengers in her state. See, there's politics being played at every step of the way, and people are getting caught up in the middle of it. Listen, I'm not here to say that Betsy DeVos gives a damn about this shutdown or whatever, or she cares about you at all. What I'm trying to tell you is they're against Whitmer. They funded her challenge, and then she won. And now they're funding the protest in Michigan in order to help ruin her so that they can get her out of office, Johnson. And when she got called out for it, what did DeVos family do? They donated some equipment to the state. Just call it even. So we can't say that DeVos and family really agree with you at all. You know that this is all a hoax and it's really no threat, because then they wouldn't be donating equipment, right? There'd be no reason to donate equipment if there's no problem, if there's no threat. And if you're donating equipment, why would you be funding an event where people will be in close proximity to people, risking their lives to be at the protest? That makes sense to you? You fund an event that puts people at risk, though you purchase equipment to protect people from a risk that you don't think really happened, and that's why you're funding the people to protest the stay-in-place order. See, at the end of the day, they play both sides of the coin, and who ends up dying? You, Johnson, not me, because I ain't going out there with you. You get to die, Michigan people, and Proud Boys people, and whoever these other people are. I don't know, some other organization. So despite Michigan having the fourth highest number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the country, MFF calls into question the data and the science that has informed Whitmer's decisions and argues that she should reopen the state's economy. So let me repeat that, though Michigan has the fourth largest number of cases, this organization, the MFF organization, wants them to reopen. They say the data's not true. It's all made up. But we got Betsy buying equipment. So which one is it, Johnson? Can't be both things at the same time. Now, as I pointed out, the DeVosses fought Whitmer in 2018. They donated large sums to the Republican Governors Association, which spent over $6 million against Whitmer. A DeVos spokesperson says the family did not sponsor the protest, and MFF's executive director disputed that the family financed it as well, claiming that MFF spent no money. So, look, who's telling the truth? Well, check out the exposedbycmd.org. Go to alexkoch.org to find out more information about it. alexkoch.com. I think it's a .com for Alex. I ran into Alex on Twitter. It's interesting, though. The MFF is a 501c, a nonprofit, so it does not publicly disclose its donors. But its affiliated political action committee, the Michigan Freedom Network, the MFN, does. From 2017 to 2019, MFN has been almost entirely financed by members of the DeVos family. According to state campaign finance records, several DeVos family members combined to give the group almost $250,000, or 98% of its contribution revenue. So look, if you give 98%, if you fund an organization 98% of the way, it's basically your organization, Johnson. Anyway, like I stated, we'll be covering, try to get to the bottom of who's funding these events. Look, guys, I don't believe that everything is as organic as it seems. I believe that there are people working behind the scenes for political purposes, some financial, some political. Both of those go hand in hand a lot of times to achieve a certain outcome. And I think people need to be made aware of it. You are a pawn in a game. But they don't die. You do, Johnson. You do. And that's why we got to be smarter. Or perish. All right, guys. I tell you, it's something. It's something. We're going to go to commercial. We're going to come right back with phone calls. Guys, thank you for being here. I will see you in just a moment. Johnson Designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious, evolutionary, and they're all Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck, Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack. All right, folks. Phone line set up. Now remember, guys, I'm positive we will run out of phone lines, but I will get to as many as possible. We will be moving things along expeditiously in order to let everybody have their comment in. So here we go, 319-527-6212. We're looking good. The mic is hot. I'm going to the first call in the queue. I have a 605 number. Hey, 605, you're live, TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
My name's Joe. I wanted to find out, what is it about the demonstrators that seems to bother you? The funding or the fact that they're demonstrating?
What's your comment, brother?
That's my question.
No, just we're doing comments, brother. So you got a comment?
Okay. I believe that the demonstrators have a right and they're doing the right thing. See ya.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I wonder, man, when I wonder if you had the same support for, other organizations when they protest. Just wondering. And I think that, of course, the funding is an issue because, I don't like when other organizations are playing people for fools. I don't have anything against protesting per se. Like, for instance, I think that protests can be good. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm able to do this show is that people protested. I mean, I'm sure you were involved in that. You sound like a guy a little bit older. Maybe you were around at that time when black folks weren't able to sit in the front of the bus or sit on the bus or eat where they wanted to eat. And yeah, protests can be helpful. But my thing is we got to protest for the right issues. I think we should be protesting the government to get those checks to the people that need them and not bail out our corporations. And I think it's lunacy for people to be standing close to each other when we got a pandemic with a disease that you may show no symptoms and have it. We don't have enough test kits for all those people to be out there. And look, I wouldn't give a shit, Joe, whatever your name is. You didn't tell me your name, though it was mandatory next time you call up. I would not care, bro, if you weren't a threat to other people. If you just, like most protests are not a threat to other people, but you could go there, catch this shit, bring it back, and then go to work and infect other people or send your kids when the schools reopen. So there's a lot of things. Like we are a society, and we should all decide we want to stay safe. You don't have to choose to. And normally I wouldn't give a shit. But this is different. Everything has changed. So that's why I feel the way I feel. Feel free to go out there if you like, Johnson. Do as you will. That's what I think. I wish you would have had, you see how quickly I came up with that? All right. 989. You're live, 989. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, my name's Matthew Riley.
Okay, what's your comment, brother?
Matthew Riley. Yeah, man, you had that story of Tucker and AOC, man, and, he started off, we said, Tucker doesn't like AOC. He really doesn't like AOC. Here's the problem, man. He does like AOC. Like Ben Shapiro likes AOC. And Sean Hannity likes AOC. You see what I'm saying, man?
I don't, brother.
All right, never mind. Okay. So, yeah, Trump on Sunday, he had his press conference, and he had his written statement that he read, and there's a little segment there where he said, you must remember that the governors wanted to have total control over the opening of their states, the opening of their economies. But now they want us, the federal government, to do the testing for them. And he kind of went off script at this point, and he said, and again, the testing is local. You can't have it both ways. Testing is a local thing. And nobody picked up on this. I thought it would be a huge story on Monday. I didn't hear anything about it, man. He's basically saying you can't decide when you want to open up your own state and also get testing from the federal government. He said that. He just showed that openly. He showed the ball, man. But this is what Trump does. He always telegraphs his horrible policies before he enacts them. Like the Muslim travel ban, he was telegraphing that for a week or two before it went into effect. You see what I'm saying here? He's already setting the precedent. He's softening it up. He's setting the precedent. So if a governor says, no, we're not going to open the state because we don't want to kill tens or hundreds of thousands of our citizens, he's going to say, oh, you can't, we're not going to give you tests.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I got you, man.
Yeah, I tweeted you the video, actually. It was like a 20-second clip. I tweeted it to you, man. So
all right,
you see it there if you look for it, man.
Thank you for the comment, man. Yeah, I get a lot of tweets, man. All I can say to that comment, brother, is, this is one of the reasons why Dr. Cornel West was saying that he feels that Donald Trump is more dangerous than Joe Biden because of shit like this. And people disagree with him because they hate Joe Biden, and obviously I can't stand Joe Biden either. That's why I sent out these buttons to my people for free. Almost 500 of them, because we've been no Biden, no Joe since the damn election started. But for people to pretend that Trump is good just because they don't like Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or Tom Perez, that's not the way to go, man. And it's been exposed now. So I'm glad you brought that up, brother. But yeah, I didn't see your tweet. But thank you. Thank you for the phone call, brother. 703. You're live on TB Tuesday. What's your name? What's your comment? 703.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey there. This is Mark O'Brien calling from Dallas, Texas. First of all, I just wanted to say a huge thank you. As a progressive and a Latino, which I know you know what that means, but for those who don't know, it means I'm Black and Latino mixed. And I see a lot progressive channels that I really like, and I love these people, but, to be quite frank, they're majority white. So to see someone like you, who I'm a new subscriber to your channel, has been really inspiring. To see a successful progressive lefty YouTuber media personality. So just wanted to say thank you. Also wanted to say, actually ask you a question. What do you think about a Nina Turner, if Trump re-wins election in 2020, what do you think about a Nina Turner AOC ticket in 2024? Thank you so much.
Hey, brother, thank you, man. You said, you got me with the Nina Turner thing, right? AOC, wow. I think it sounds a lot more interesting than what we got going on right now, and it sounds a lot of honest with you, brother. I've got no love for like the people that Biden's picking from right now. So I'm with you. I'm pretty sure we're on the same wavelength with that. I never considered AOC. That's crazy. AOC with Nina. Wow. I'm a big Nina Turner fan, and that would be interesting. I'd like to speak to your other point though, man. It's tough. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been very tough to succeed and to be at this point. To get to this point, it took many years, but I didn't start off with a network. There's very few Black or Latino commentators on the left get opportunities to be on like TYT, the Ring of Fire, anything, any of these entities that give you a springboard. Like all of the main YouTubers, all the main political talking heads you see on the left of the independent, they all sort of are connected to TYT in some way, shape, or form. All of them. Every last one of them. And people act like that's not a thing, but it was definitely a thing. That's how they all got started. You really got to persevere. It took a lot of perseverance. And even to this day, when you bring it up, you would think that the left would be more tolerant, more understanding, more helpful to us. They're not really. So all I can say, man, is hopefully you're thinking about doing this. Just don't quit and just keep going. You'll find an audience. I was lucky enough to find an audience and build that audience, and I protect that audience with everything I got. So thank you for the kind words, brother. But as I stated, it ain't been easy, man. Real talk. And frankly, it hasn't been easy. Anyway, let me keep it moving, man. 253. 253, you live. TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Can you hear me, Tim?
Yeah, we're good. What's up, man?
Hey, I called in beforehand. I think it's really important that we have people of color, especially more women, covering a more leftist platform on YouTube. And just a couple of things I wanted to highlight. The main thing that I'm concerned about is if Joe Biden were to win the White House in the next and have a 4 to 8 years, I have it's problematic because that can pacify. I really feel like that can pacify the country, because as we see, like through him winning the nomination, that people I think they're just voting based upon their feelings, not voting based upon policy related matters. And I think with Joe Biden securing a win, that's going to make a lot of like Democratic voters think, okay, everything is finally returning back to normal. But the problem with that is, like you've already covered within the show, that's what's being underneath neoliberalism. It helped cause us to get Trump within the first place. If we don't address those issues, then we can find ourselves in the same predicament. If Joe Biden were to win the nomination, whether he stays in for the next 4 years or he leaves, we can find ourselves in the worst case scenario where not just another Trump, but maybe someone worse than him. And number two, that caller brought up a good point. I spoke about this earlier, but I really do hope that we do get more people of color. Let
me ask you why, my brother. Why do you want more people of color? What's the importance of that? How does that help?
Because I'm not going to name any names.
No.
I feel like it only goes so. Huh?
No. You don't have to name names, but why would it help? Why do we need more? Why do we need more diversity or more people of color?
Because it highlights specifically people who disenfranchised community. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth. That's number one. Number two is not having a lot of these progressive platforms. I do believe a lot of them mean well, but we need people from these actually communities speaking from their point of view. That way nothing's being co-opted or nothing's being, I think that they want. No, it's coming from people who are actually within the Black and brown communities, LGBTQ, all of this stuff. It's coming straight from our communities as opposed to a white person speaking on our behalf, And I see someone from your platform, you speak in the journalist, okay, as a leftist platformer, but as a Black male, we need more people like that, just nothing being co-opted. I'm not too sure if I made my point clear, but... Yeah. I wish I typed all this stuff out before I started talking.
No, you're good.
Again, thanks for all your work, and I do appreciate it. And anything I can do, I want to join your Patreon and just keep on hoping that you can keep on getting the message out there, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I just wanted you to drill down on it and give people a reason. It's not just because of color, what I'm saying? Because one of the knocks is that, the Democrats and I'm an independent. After 2016, I dim exited. I hear people all the time, I'm dim exiting. Where you been, bro? I already did that. But, in Maryland, I got to keep if I want to vote for a Democrat, I have to register. So there's a hassle, but it's worth it to me. But, one of the knocks is that people want people of color, and it's just they don't want the substance. So I just wanted you to be kind of specific for what the advantage, what's the advantage to that? How does that play, and why is that useful? I want people to know it's not just because you want people to have different, you want a woman just to want a woman. It's because you want that woman to be able to speak to those issues and be more sensitive to those issues. And it's also for the audience to know, hey, here goes a woman. Maybe she'll understand things on another level. I think one of the stumbling blocks too, because it's no secret. I'm a big Bernie supporter. Always, have been for the last 5 years. And one of the problems that Bernie Sanders had is just not reaching enough Black folks. And I felt like having Black folks, 40 years and above would have helped Bernie Sanders, because other Black folks would be more likely to trust other Black folks that they understand. They're going to say, maybe this Black person, he understands, he relates to what I'm going through in my life, and let me listen a little bit more closer. Maybe he's not living in a bubble. Maybe he has dealt with racism. Maybe he's dealt with discrimination. Maybe he's been pulled over by the cops. Maybe he understands the shit we deal with. Maybe, so I think that's helpful. And people need to understand it's not just so people just to do it because of color, but it's actually applicable to the people that you're trying to reach. So in the Democratic Party, for instance, we know there'll never be another Democratic nominee if Black folks don't vote for him. That's a prerequisite. Most white people will vote Republican. You ain't going to win an election unless you can get black people and Latino people to vote Democrat. That's just a fact. But still, for some reason on the left, there is very little diversity. So how are you getting these people? How are you bringing people in? Everyone's not going to want to listen to David Packman Johnson. I'm just being real. Okay? Like, I'm not knocking David Packman. I know I know he's a good guy, probably. I don't know him. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. What I'm saying is, where I grew up in D.C., Southeast Washington, D.C., over by the big chair, Malcolm X Avenue, stand up, those black folks, they're not going to listen to David Packman, okay? They're not going to tune in to listen to certain people. They're not going to think they have anything in relation. Now, they might not be true, but I'm saying the perception for a lot of those people will be, this person ain't going to understand my life. I was stunned that Bernie Sanders was speaking about issues in terms that related to me. Okay, I was stunned that Bernie was doing that. At the time, he was 74-year-old white guy, Jewish guy from New York, and he understood my issues. I was surprised that he understood them. Okay, but everyone's not as open-minded, so I think we need to start, meet people where they're at, make people more comfortable, let people know that there is diversity, there's people, all types of people are involved in these movements. It's important if you want to reach those people. But frankly, guys, it's an uphill battle. Anyway, that's a lot of talking, but I want people to know it's diversity for diversity's sake is garbage. I don't want diversity for diversity's sake. You got to have a substance. You got to have the right message. You got to bring the right skills to the table. But all that being equal, yeah, it's important. All right, I'm going to the next call. 856. Thank you for being here. You're live TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim. It's Jason from Ohio. I'm a repeat caller. I actually made fun of you saying Joe Biden is going to sniff your head a while back. But, yeah, my question is, my comment/question is, I'm not going to vote in November. I'm not voting for Biden. I'm staying home. In the nightmare scenario where Biden wins, despite us not voting for him, what bargaining chip will we have left? That's what I want to know. And don't say it's not going to happen, because we never thought that Trump would plow through when he announced initially back in 2016 the 17 other Republicans. We never thought, Obama would actually beat Clinton back in 2008. So don't never say never.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can answer your question. So if Joe Biden wins, well, here goes one thing, Johnson. I think that Joe Biden would be more amendable, more pushable to the left than Trump, right? See, this is the dilemma that we face, man. We face a dilemma that there are people that are hurting right now, right? So those people that are hurting right now, that feel like Donald Trump is a no-go. Like they want Trump out. Now, I know some of it is propaganda, but other people are really hurt because of Trump's programs. Some of those programs would have been done by any Republican that goes into office. Don't get it twisted. Some of these programs, the Republicans by nature cut social programs. Okay, that's what they do. But this gutting of EPA is unprecedented. We're in a climate crisis, and we got a president who's gutting the EPA. That's like the worst thing that could be happening right now. Okay? So now what? So back to your point. So for Joe Biden, if he wins, he'll win a second term just like Trump does. And see, that's part of the problem. People think, oh shit, what will Trump do in his second term when he's not looking for re-election? He might really go crazy and give it all away. He may give it all to his friends. You understand what I'm saying? So these are other fears that people have. I don't think it's fair for people to dismiss the fears. If you don't care that you're going to have Donald Trump without in a position to try to get reelected in there to double down on stupid, okay, fine. But at least admit that you're in that position, that you feel that way. Don't make it seem like it's going to be all rosy because you get Trump for another term. So it's bad both ways, man. Like, do you want a shotgun to the head or do you want to get stabbed? I don't know. Do you want to drown or do you want to jump off the building? Like, it's bad, man. Don't get it twisted. It's bad. But let's recognize both are bad. And some people believe, and I don't know if it's true or not, man, but some people believe that when you got a first-term president, they always want a second term. With Joe, I don't even know if that's possible. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, it's bad, brother. What can I tell you? God, it's really bad. 252, you live. TV Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hi, this is Kira from Fayetteville.
Kira, what's up, sis?
Hey, I just wanted to continue on your caller, your 253 caller. In addressing diversity, we also have to address, these wolves in sheep's clothing that we have, all skin folk ain't kin folk. We got Bakari sellers, we got Whoopi Goldberg, we got these people that pretend that, because they're black and they're quote unquote from the hood or not from the hood, I don't know. But that they speak for black issues, the Joy Reids of the world. And it really, really makes me angry that these people get such these platforms too, and they could speak such motivation and such good things to our communities, and they don't. They sit here and they peddle whatever the party line tells them to do, and I just think it's really sad because, I do think that diversity is a big issue, and our communities are underrepresented, but overrepresented when it comes to crises like this, when it comes to deaths and things of that nature. And I think that when it comes to situations like that, and you have, Whoopi Goldberg disrespecting senators in such a way, it just makes us look really bad. And I just don't understand how we got to a place where black people got to be the stonewalls of the Democratic Party but get nothing and continue to get nothing and continue or are expected every election to vote Democrat because what about the Republicans? And now you have, particularly black men starting to vote more Republican, and people are getting mad and they're blaming us. And I'm just like, no, you cannot blame black people for everything. You can't blame black people for all the crime in America. You can't blame black people for everything that goes on and then don't give us a leg to stand on, and then we still supposed to just make shit happen. It's a problem, you know what I'm saying? And also, based on what you were saying about, did you see the story with Joe Biden? Apparently, he's rescinded his guarantee that he was going to pick a woman of color for VP. And I just thought that was so funny because you look at how all these black people voted for Joe Biden, and now he's not even going to pick a person of color like he said. Or he might be to pick a person of color, but it's going to probably be a guy, which I thought from the beginning. I said, Joe Biden is not going to pick a female person of color as the person just because his roots is just not in it. Y'all giving him all of this credibility in the black community when Joe Biden was in the Senate with the redlining, with the housing crisis, with everything that's been going on. He's been two-stepping right there with these segregationalists like he's had no opposition. So you guys have given him this platform as if he is the savior to the black people because we have Donald Trump. But honest and truly, if you look at his record, like everybody should, he hasn't. So I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy of how we are failing our own community with disinformation or deliberate misinformation for people like Whoopi Goldberg, Bakari Sellers, Joy Reid, such as that. Thank you for allowing me to speak my truth to power, and y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Kira. I appreciate you, and you're absolutely right. That's one of the things that drives me, Kara, is knowing that we got these people, these Joy Reids, the Bakari Sellers, the Zelina Maxwells, that we had these people out there and they get the bullhorn. But you know what? The way this media game works, if they were to speak like I do, they wouldn't have jobs anymore, Johnson. That's the other side of it that people don't want to admit. And maybe some people are not aware of it. You are not allowed to say certain shit. You're just not, Johnson. So, yeah, unless you're independent. And if you're independent, they do everything they can to marginalize you and make you irrelevant. Get what I'm saying? Or they won't include you. Like, I'm really surprised that Politico has been including me in their podcast. I never change what I say. I never change my point of view. In fact, I go harder. I feel like it's important. I mean, I was recently on the podcast. They had Clay Aiken hosting it, and Clay Aiken, he said he was a progressive, and then I called him out on Obama because he kept saying Obama was great, and I brought up the wars, and I brought up he didn't legalize cannabis, and I brought up that he failed us in so many ways, and then Clay kind of backed away, like, oh shit, he's gonna call me out. But that's what I do. So you're right. And yeah, eventually people are gonna get tired of you. All they've been doing is saying that if you don't vote for a Democrat, you're gonna get a racist Republican. Leaving out that there are a lot of racist Democrats. That's a point too. And you're right, it is hilarious that they wanted us to vote for Joe Biden because he said he would put a black woman in, and now he changes his mind. Oh, man, who couldn't see that coming? I saw people making fun of Jim Clyburn already. Like, Jim Clyburn, I thought you knew Joe. I know Joe, and Joe knows us. Yeah, he knows we're stupid, and we listen to you. That's what Joe knows. He knows we're dumb enough to think you know what the hell you talking about. They should have listened to Tim Black, and they'd have said, no, Joe. And at least if we had somebody lying, it'd have been somebody different. I mean, I tried to convince them that Bernie was the better option, man. I just couldn't reach enough people, man, and I kick myself for it every day. All right, we're going to keep it moving, Kira. Thank you once again. 248, you're live. TB Tuesday, what's your name? What's your comment?
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, it's me. Hey, Tim, this is Karen calling. Sending peace to the world, dude. I was thinking fondly of you tonight as I was driving home. I was like, wow, Tim Black. And you know what? It's like, for me, it's like, I don't care for Joe. And I'm thinking, it's Bernie to the wall, dude. But I know I'm not going to vote for him. I mean, we can't have another anything of DT, Donald Trump. But so the guys that were protesting with the guns on the Capitol steps in Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah.
I get, to some extent, I get their point because I'm white, so, okay, I'm a white privileged female, and that bugs the heck out of me sometimes. But anyway, they have a point to some extent because, for instance, our food chain is being disrupted because farmers can't get their crops in the fields. And so some of these folks were upset, like my daughter kept telling me about people on Facebook flipping out because they couldn't buy seeds and plants at the garden centers in the big stores, according to our governor's orders. You could still go to Ace and buy your seeds and plants, Mm-hmm. But that's an important thing for people to be able to get hold of the plants so they can do their gardens this year, because food is going to be more expensive at this fall because it's just not getting planted and some of it's not getting harvested, and then it's going to be hard to get it distributed. So that's an important point. But to take rifles, semi-automatic rifles, and stand on the steps in Lansing, that message is kind of violent to me. I don't know about you. And it's disturbing. And then I feel badly also because I know these folks are being played for fool because they're getting upset about things that just they're putting, it's not in proportion. But as far as why I would want more people of color in the media and in government and just being, listened to more. I know that I have racial bias,